Hello, hello, and welcome into the Tuesday Tea with me, Christy. I am so excited to have you here today with me. So we're coming from Choose Your Enemies Wisely by Patrick Bet David. All right, this book has really it's really about the audacious few who are for business planning. So now what I always say is where we're talking about business, the strategies for business work in real life, the strategies for leadership work in real life. But what really, the two things they talk about, as I put the subject down there, title down there, is Dream Chaser. He talks about in this book, and you can go and catch the replays of this book in following my YouTube right there. I'll put that across the bottom for you to check out. It's the YouTube, The Christy Farmer. Go ahead and like and subscribe. You can catch the other two chapters. When you like what I'm talking about today, you're like, oh, what did she talk about before this? Because we're like halfway through the book. In this part, he talks about the two different things that make up, there's two sides to this triangle of success. And one side is the logical side, and the other side is the emotional side. And he gave examples of people who have been successful in business do a combination. We used to always think, don't bring your emotions into business. And there's a combination of putting emotion in your business and putting logic in it. And how he breaks down this part of the difference between logic and emotions is a logical person is going to put systems into place. I'm all about systems. But a person who is emotional will put dreams in place first. And so a person who is able to be like the audacious few, the few who make it to a higher level of success, combines both. So I thought this was great because I feel like for myself, I've hit a ceiling of my success because I was operating off logic. And as a leader, I can't just lead in a method that works for me, but I also need to lead in a method that works for everyone, which would include the dreamers. Okay. I've also needed to take some time to focus on the dream that I want, like the bigger, dreaming bigger for myself. And I love how he breaks that down. So, of course, he starts this chapter off with one of my favorite books by James Clear that we've talked about in here, which is Atomic Habits. And he says, bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. Listen, if you've been following me on Facebook, if you're one of my Facebook friends or one of my followers, drop a number one in the comments, okay? I need to see who's in the room. Who is a follower of me and like my personal life, what I put out there personally. My husband has started a baking business. Now, he's been baking for forever. He's a good cook. He puts his heart into it. I follow directions and recipes just because we need to eat. I'd be like, oh my gosh, the chicken is so good. What'd you do? And he's like, I don't know. I just threw some stuff in the pot. I'm like, I appreciate you. But he's been baking like s'mores cookies. He made a peach cobbler cookie banging. And I need to stop eating all these sweets, y'all. I don't like working out. And so the requirement to have to work out more to maintain this sweet habit is not going to work for me. So I have to put a system into place because it's not that I don't want to change his diet. I do want to change his habit of eating all these sweets that he cooks, especially now I can be like, only when he makes something new am I going to try it. Like the peach cobbler cookie, okay. But he's made red velvet cookies like forever. I don't need to eat them anymore. He makes chocolate chip cookies for forever. I don't need to eat them anymore. He's made, what else? I think there's probably only two that. Peanut butter cookies, key lime cupcakes. I've never liked key lime cupcakes, but he made some key lime cupcakes and I've eaten 3 of them. I love his key lime cupcakes. So I need a system that, because this is a habit I do want to change, but I don't have a system in place to change it. So what I said I was going to do is every time he makes something sweet and I'm like, want to grab it, I am going to make a smoothie, which will be sweet because I'm going to use peaches, I'm going to use pineapples. Those are sweet, but at least it's a natural sweetness, not an artificial sweetness created by sugars and food coloring and flour. Flour is the thing that's the devil. That's what I don't need. My stomach at my young age, my young tenderoni age of 41, does not need these things, okay? And so that is a system. And it says here, you do not rise to the level of your goals. My goal is to not eat these sweets. You fall to the level of your system. So a couple things I got to do for the system is I need to always have a smoothie in the refrigerator. It happened today. I was like, ooh, I need to make a smoothie because I don't want to eat these sweets. And I was thinking to myself, the system is not going to work if when I'm craving a sweet, a smoothie is not already made. But guess what was already in the refrigerator? A smoothie, a sweet, good for me smoothie was already in the refrigerator. And I was just able to go ahead and get it. So that's an example of just this quote that is on the very first. Listen, I haven't even gotten this to chapter 7. I haven't even gotten to the chapter, and that quote right there has already changed my life. So I hope it changed your life too. I'm gonna read it one more time. Bad habits repeat themselves. Whew, that preaches. Again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. You not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Okay, so he goes through some stories, of course, which I'm not a big on storytelling, okay? And I like to get to the meat of things. That's the logical side of me. Now, I know you dreamers out there are like, Christy, tell me a story. Well, what I'm going to tell you to do is pick up the book if you need stories, okay? This Tuesday tea is not reading the author's stories. But I am going to go to the steps. I love actionable steps. So if you love actionable steps, I'm going to tell you the part of this actionable steps that he gives. He says, these are 7 steps to create a dream-making machine. Number 1 was like, I've never done this before. I got to do this more often. Or I haven't done this consistently. I have to do this more often. He says, 1, speak the dream language at least 20% of the time. So if you have a dream, now he gave an example that his dream was a yellow Hummer because I believe he was in sales. He sold Hummers, I think is what he said. And his dream was to have a yellow Hummer. So he literally put this yellow Hummer everywhere. So on his dashboard, he couldn't even see how fast he was going because of a picture of a yellow Hummer. On his screen saver, he had a picture of the yellow Hummer. And it wasn't just bought because he could go buy a yellow Hummer. So it sounds like me I can relate to this guy. It sounds like me when I'm talking about, I want an electric car. He said it's not that he couldn't buy a Hummer right then, but he wanted to reach a millionaire, making $1 million in his business before he would buy the yellow Hummer. So what he talks about in this is systems going with dreams. I'll quote him right here. It says, and what will you learn in this chapter? So this is what you'll learn in this chapter, and I'll share a little bit of it with you. He thinks of systems as dream-making machines. Your system leads to your dreams coming true. I love that. You could also call systems hero-making machines because a system will make you a hero for your team, for your life, your leader, those of you who are leading. Systems are like workouts. Systems are like nutritions. They're like supplements. They're like recovery and stretching. He said this is what it would look like if you wanted to be Mr. Olympian or Mrs. Olympian, right? Wanted to win a competition. Your system that's going to get you to that dream is what you eat, how you work out, the supplements you take, your stretching. Equally important is the sequencing of these systems and the commitment to refining and reinforcing each step. When he talks about refining and reinforcing each step, he talks about at intervals throughout the year, stopping to look at the data. This is the logical part. This is the system part. So you have a system in place that at the 3-month mark, you will stop and you'll review the last 3 months of numbers, data. So it may be if you're growing your social media following so that you can increase the number of customers, how many new followers did you add in the last 3 months? And as a result, how many new customers did you get? And as a result, how many of those new customers came back and bought from you again? Then you know in the next 3 months, if you reach your goal, great, but you got to do the same thing. You got to have the same number of new followers, new customers, and customers that repeat buyers the next 3 months. If you didn't reach your goal, then you know you got to increase it. You got to do whatever it takes to get more followers. Now, in this day and age, at the time of this recording, it would be reels. All right, you add more reels, and then you might look at that number. How many reels did I add? I added 3 reels. I got this many followers, and then I got those are the data. That's the system you put in place to realize your dream, which may be for some receiving a check from social media, a check from Facebook or whatever social media app you use that you want them to give you an influencer check for, right? So this is the combination, but it starts by 1, And I went on a tangent there, but there was some tea in that. There were some tokens. What did you take away? Drop it in the comments. What's something I already said that you're taking away? You like, I need to apply that. Okay. So says here, speak the dream language at least 20% of the time. Number 2, turn your dreams into specific goals. So he talked about he wanted $1 million home. I was like, oh, you're talking to me. I don't know if it's that house that needs to be $1 million, but I do want land. And then he says, so in order to make it, this is turning your dream, the dream of the house, meaning you have dreams out there. Drop a dream you have. Dream of losing weight, dream of retiring at a certain age, dream of paying for your child's college straight out. What are some dreams that you have, right? Then you turn that dream into specific goals. So he says, okay, $1 million home. Well, in order to buy, and I literally have done this kind of research myself, so I know I'm on the right track. But if you haven't, let me help you with some ways that you can think about your dreams in order to make them reality. $1 million home. So how much money do you need to make a year to qualify for $1 million home? He says $400,000 because you have to make a third of how much you want your home to be, something like that. So he said the number is $400,000. Well, to buy $1 million home and not have to also pay the mortgage plus the insurance, if you don't want to have to pay insurance on the home you purchase, then you have to put down 20%. So 20% of $1 million home is $200,000. So you need to make $400,000 a year, and you need to save $200,000 so you don't have to pay your mortgage plus the insurance on top of it. I'm here to say I didn't put money down on this home. Well, did I put money down on this? I don't think I put money down on my home at all. And I also didn't, if I did, I know it wasn't 20%. So I currently still pay insurance in addition to my mortgage plus interest. Oh, learn, do better. Once you know better, you do better. So for my $1 million home, I will have $200,000 put down so that I don't have to pay my mortgage plus the insurance. And the insurance is for the bank to cover if I renege and can't pay my mortgage, then they have insurance on it that I've been paying into the entire time. Now, that is how you take a dream and it becomes an actual reality, or you know what you're working towards. You don't wake up about here like, I'm not any closer to making $400,000 a year. Then you take it a step further and say, I know I need to make $400,000 a year. What are some things I can specifically do to get to that? That's turning your dreams into specific goals. Number 3, make your goals visual. Like he gives examples in this book about making your, now, I remind you, because some of you might be like, oh my God, I gotta do all this. This is only for the audacious few, those who are ready to take their business to another level. Or if you've seen people who've taken their business to another level, I guarantee if you talk to them, they have, I've learned this as I've gotten in rooms with 6, 7, and 8-figure earners. They speak the language of their dream. They are able to verbalize what we call dream casting. I didn't really quite understand dream casting because I operate in logic. But after reading this chapter, I feel like I am way better off at casting a dream and knowing that I need to speak this language 20% of the time. I can't cast a dream and as a logical person be like, all right, team knows it. I know it. We don't have to mention this again. No. So now, here is how to be specific. 20% of the time. So I think about, I would go back and say, I know for sure I talk to my team once a month, every first Sunday of the month. So if I talk to them let's say that's the only time I talk to them, 20% of that time has to be about our dream, the dream I have, the dream that our team has for our growth. Number 4, create the system to make your dreams and goals a reality. So what systems do I need to put in place where I can make $400,000 a year consistently, that I not only make it, but that I save $200,000? Well, for me, that means I need to live a lifestyle that doesn't require my full $400,000 I made. Ooh, that's the T. All right, keep going. Number 5, analyze data and trends to improve the systems. Then 6, keep refining the system you have in place and look to create new ones. All right. So I will, like right now, I only have 1 smoothie in the refrigerator. Well, when that's up, then that's it. So I probably should freeze some smoothies so that when I use that one that's in the refrigerator, I can pull one out the freezer, put it in the refrigerator, and have it go ahead and melting. So the next time I get a craving for one of these flour packed cookies or cupcakes or brownies, I have because self-control, right? It's not that I don't want it. I just have a system in place. And that is how I will have a system in place so that I can do it. I can do it. This is only 7. So I'm going to go through number 7. Remember to always speak the dream language and make it emotional. Be emotional about these dreams that you have. Dreams spark fire and make you or your team want to achieve it. I've underlined so many things. I'm just going to read it to you. It says, create systems that are duplicatable. So when I think about the smoothie and the eating, like I have a teenager who is a track star. She is spending the summer with her dad. But when she comes back home, she's going to be at home with all these sweets. And I know, although she is more of a junk food eater, like chips and crackers and less of the sweets. So she really hasn't been getting any sweets, although she's one of the person who's like a sneaker, like she won't eat it when we're around, but like we'll go to bed at night and then there'll be a cookie missing. She's more of that kind of. So I need to have it duplicatable. So that's something that she could do as well. Even for my team, when I create a system for our team, I have to have something that is duplicatable, not just for the person like who has my style, who is logical, but also for the person who is a dreamer, who's not really going to want to create the systems, but is going to want the success that we're having. And so I need to make it something that they are willing to do as well. Or not even do, but it is something that they can understand, so it is doable or duplicatable. All right, so keep it moving. I love this chapter. Can you tell? I'm loving it. You know what I really think it is? It's this couch. It's this futon. It's this ambiance. It's this, like, I'm not sitting up straight in a chair. I am comfortable and talking like a book. A system that I had to put in place so that I could continue to enjoy talking to you, my Tuesday tea lovers, about books that are changing our lives. So the next one is, let's see. You can't ask people to execute before getting them to see where it's going and tapping into what their hearts desires. If the dream excites you, you'll work as much as you need. Thinking about what you want is the dream. Thinking about what you want is the dream. So you got to, this is where we say, see it before you see it. Or have you guys heard that? Cast the dream. I know I've heard that. I've been in, and sometimes I assume that everybody's been in rooms where they talk about casting your dream or dream casters, or you've been around people who have casted dreams on you that you picked up on. This happens in church. Like, I feel like the pastor will cast his dream for the congregation, and then people pick up on it. All right. And they carry out his dream, or they bring the dream to fruition. Great leaders can do that. All right. And so it says here, the emotions come from picturing what your life will look like when you achieve your goals. Oh my goodness, I do this all the time. Like, I really walk around this 2,000 square foot home that we live in, picturing myself walking down the halls of a 10,000 square foot home. I picture myself pulling into the driveway of hundreds of acres. When I went to a farm I pictured me driving home to our farm. I was like, oh, I like how they put this fence up. I'm just picturing myself driving through our long driveway with this fence. All right. So you have to be able to picture what your life will look like when you achieve your goals. This is like page 148. This chapter goes 20 more pages. I'm gonna give y'all some homework, because at the end he lists your blocks. All right. So if you want to take action as a dreamer, well, if you want to be an audacious fool, you're going to take action on both of them. So I got some homework related to taking action for dreamers, and some homework and taking action for people who are great or think about doing systems anyway. Love what you do. So here's some questions you can ask yourself. Like, I'm just having a hard time dreaming. And this can happen. It's hard to dream of something bigger and better when you're struggling with where you currently are. So dreaming of a day where bills are not a worry when you right now can't figure out how you're going to pay your electric bill tomorrow. Dreaming of a day where you can just pick up and buy plane tickets for your entire family to take a vacation. It's sometimes hard to picture when you're worried about how you're going to pay your car note that's past due. So this gives you questions on page 48 to ask yourself. This is what we call dream language. Drop that in the comments. Drop in the comments dream language. Okay, here's a dream language. Take a moment to fill in what comes next. This is allow yourself to dream. So here's the first one. This is a dream language. Imagine if one day I fill in. So I may say, imagine if one day I make $1 million in 1 year. Here's some examples he gives. He says, imagine if one day I win the Nobel Prize. Imagine if one day I discover a cure for cancer. Imagine if one day I love what I do so much that it doesn't feel like work. This is it. This is the manifestation of me imagining what I would do so much, love what I do so much that it doesn't feel like work. This does not feel like work. I dreamed this, and then I put in sitting in that chair for so long. I was like, what is the problem? I like talking about these things, but sitting in the chair that I was sitting in was just not doing it for me. I felt like I wasn't connecting with you all because I'm sitting up and straight up, but this relax on a baby. Y'all gonna get sick of me. I'm gonna be in here like, let me tell you what I read. Y'all listen to this. Okay, this is the one right here. All right, here's the next one. A simple prompt for a dream language is, it will be incredible to. Might drop that in. It would be incredible to ... And then fill in the blank. This is how you are able to create your dream. Now I need this back behind my back. Crisscross the leg a little bit. All right. It will be incredible too. Here's some other prompts to tap into your dreams. Now, what I would push you to do is when you complete these sentences, then don't say, oh, but I can't do that. Now, that's where it goes to the last time he talked about skills. And there was some homework related to that. Let me go back to that chapter. I think it was, mission and plan. I didn't talk about that with you guys, the mission and plan. I think the last one I did talk to you about, because I didn't do every parts of this, was will and skill. All right. So you may say, and that's chapter 5. So you definitely want to grab the book and check out chapter 5. In chapter 5, he talks about the will and skill. So the skill is something that a logical person will definitely go work on. And the will is the need to succeed heart. Need to succeed, or it's your heart. Skill is knowledge and expertise, and will is your need to succeed and your heart. All right. So what I find is people, and these are the people who, be honest to God, they irritate me, frustrate me, irritate me. Maybe neither one of those words are the best words, but I roll my eyes because I'm a skills person, and I hear people who have the will do a lot of talking. They have a need to succeed. I'm gonna put myself in the rooms with the right people, and I'm gonna speak all the affirmations on myself because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be successful. I am worthy. And they do all this heart talk, but they don't match it with any skills. They don't do anything to gain more knowledge. They don't do anything to increase their. This is why the audacious few are a combo of will and a combo of skill. So I definitely have a need to succeed. And because I have that need to succeed, my heart is saying I'm supposed to be great. All right. The biblical, I know y'all know I keep my biblical scholars around because I can't quote it, but I know it's in there. What is that scripture that says that you are made for greatness, that the head was the tail and all, what is it? If y'all drop that in the comments, I know y'all know. All right. And I'm gonna get better at quoting these things. But I know there's a scripture that says, like, you are meant for greatness. You are clothed and wonderful. Like, come on, give it to me. Drop it in the comments. But that is what inherently, like, you're supposed to be great, but now it's time to combine that with getting the knowledge you need so that you then can have the skills to create the systems to make your dreams come true. Okay, now, that's the T. Are you putting it all together? You have the will. You're supposed to be great. But then you have the lacking of the skills, so you have to go out there and get the skills so that you can turn your dreams into systems that takes those dreams to reality. Okay, let's keep it going. Another some other things. What would my life look like if? What would my life look like if? What? What would you feel? What would you put there? If my house was paid off? What would my life look like if I went to a job every day that I loved? What would my life look like if we had a nurturing, cooperative relationship? Another one. What I'm aiming to get for myself and my family is. This is how you create dreams. And you can write these. Now, these are things that will go everywhere, okay? What I most look forward to is. My bucket list includes. These are all things that help you get to your dreams. Now, goals are dreams with deadlines and rewards. So his dream was $1 million. His dream was $1 million. So he rewarded himself once he hit $1 million with the yellow Hummer. We have to reward ourselves. And he gives examples of talking about rewards. So like somebody with a sales rep who made $36,000 in 1 year. Then he made $72,000 in 1 month, but didn't have no reward attached to it. So the next month he went down to $5,400. Lord, could you imagine going from 70? I had a break. I want to say a breakdown, but I was like going in overdrive trying to fix this. But I went from $30,000 a month down to $4,000 a month, and I was like, Lord Jesus, what's going on? How did you get here? How did I get from $30,000 back to 4Gs? And did I not celebrate the $30,000? And I'm not sure if I did. I'm not sure if I celebrated and then continue to do the things to keep that a reality. I paid off responsibilities, but it's also part of having the dream, realizing the dream, but not having something in place so that when the realization comes, this is what you celebrate with. I was being super responsible and paying off things, but I'm not sure I celebrated so much. So that's one of the things he talked about too. So I can definitely understand that point right there. Dreams direct our energy. Could you imagine, if you haven't done this before, could you imagine if you complete this sentence, imagine if one day I, on that dream, and then you use that dream to direct your energy. So now your energy is going to go towards making that statement a reality through systems. And the systems may be like, in order to make this a reality, I need to have my children wake up at a certain time and go to sleep at a certain time. That could be the system. Your dream, the end of the statement is, it would be incredible to be able to take a nap every day. So the system I need to put in place is that there's a certain time my toddler goes to take a nap so that I can do a couple things and then be down for a nap in enough time to wake up before she does. Are you catching what I'm putting down? Is this making sense to you? I hope it's making sense to you. Drop number 2 in the comments if this is making sense to you. Are you already thinking of, oh, I've had this dream, I see why it hasn't come to fruition, because I have a system in place to keep the block. And you know, everybody has blockers. Everybody has things in their life that is getting in the way of them reaching their dreams. But what happens between those who are successful at reaching their dreams and those who aren't as successful at reaching, the audacious few reach their dreams because they put a system in place to take care of the things that are getting in the way. Oh, I wish I could work my business so much, but my husband he wants all this attention. Well, then put a system in place so that you can give him the attention he needs so that you can go do all the things. It's just a matter of systems. He says he likes it. He talks about, I like this one. All right, Bible ladies, everybody who knows verses, who dropped the verse. He says, what I've learned is that without the belief and the system to go along with those dreams, it won't be enough. He says it's like this expression: trust in God, but lock your car. You need to do your part. Like, trust in God. I'm not gonna leave my doors open and just let somebody come in here. I trust God is going to give me the money to pay for this alarm system so I can lock these doors, and alarm won't go off so the police can come. This is faith without works is dead. Like, God, like, do your part. I'm glad you got faith, and I do work miracles, and the miracle is you've learned how to do systems. Miracle. All right. Just to wrap this up, we are coming to the end of our time here on this wonderful Tuesday tea with me. I'm going to go to the end part because, oh my gosh, there's so many things. Numbers to measure for your turning your dreams into reality. I love this quote. If you can't measure it, you can't change it. And what gets measured gets managed. Love it. Now let's do some homework. If dreams and systems, emotion and logic are wash, rinse, and repeat. To get to the next level, you can't have big dreams without having big systems. And you can't have big systems without having big dreams. They come hand in hand to go to your next level. So there are 5 action items you can take for the dream aspect of success. And I'm gonna talk number 5. Number 5 says, make a list and check it twice. We gonna find out who's gonna be audacious or not. All right, make a list of 5 to 7 statements, beginning with, imagine if one day, ... Or you can do this, and this, or you can do this, or this. Create a bucket list to drill down and find your true dreams. I like the first part, for sure. I feel like that's easier, but that's how the logical person sees it, all right? The other one is a bucket list. Make a bucket list of all things you want to do and drill down and find the ones that are your true dreams. That's one way to do it. Other one is 5 to 7 statements, beginning with, imagine, you know what to do, drop it in the comments. Imagine if one day, ... That's for the dream. For the system, it says, there's a lot of these. I love this one, systems, the action. All right, you've read this, time take action. Find ways to buy back time. Figure out your hourly rate and delegate all activities that cost less than what you make. Now, I did do that before, and right now I'm not willing to do that. So let's put another. Let me tell you another one. Actually, I'm not going to another one. Go get the book. Choose your enemies wisely. Business planning for the audacious few. And I will see you. Is this the end? Let me make sure. Because I know I'm not reading every part with you guys. Oh no, the next part. It is bringing your plan to life. Part 3. Bringing your plan to life. Assembling the building blocks to make your own plan and rolling out. I like that last one. Rolling out the plan. Because I don't know about you, but we be having plenty of plans around here and we don't roll them out. That's where the magic happens. So I'll probably talk about that one next week. Rolling out the plan. As always, thank you so much for joining me in here with the Tuesday Tea and my new setting. I'll see you back here next week. Bye. Love y'all.